views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
Good evening and welcome to On Point, your #1 political and current affairs talk show program, broadcasting to you live from the studios of TCN Network here in the beautiful city of Brampton. Today is Tuesday, October the 1st, and it is a bright and sunshining day. I'm told that we are breaking records in terms of temperatures for today. This evening on the program, Len Carby, we are glad to have you with us. Welcome, good to have you.
Absolutely a pleasure to be back.
Coming up on the program as well, we will talk to more political leaders. Mr. Roger Sampson, running in Brampton West to be the next Member of Parliament for the People's Party of Canada, will join us. Lots happening in Brampton this evening, lots to talk about. We also had the swearing in earlier for a new Chief of Police. We'll talk a bit about that as well. But before we get to that, we want to give you a bit of information. Len Carby, it's 20 days to go until the election, October 21st. So let's give our viewers some information. Some voting dates. Let's see, we have been talking about the issues, but today we want to give you some more information. We want to make sure that you are well informed and you'll be participating in the election today. So Len Carby, tell us about some key dates for our viewers to bear in mind.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I think a lot of people have the mistaken impression is that they have to wait for the actual election polling day to have their votes be registered. But there is a process called advanced polling, and you can actually vote in any of these polling stations. There are over 500 of them across Canada, and you can vote from October 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th in any of these advanced polls. You need to, of course, go to that polling station according to the assigned polling station for where you reside, and you can participate early. You don't have to wait until the day in question and join a long line. So
let's get it again. So we have some advanced polls. You're saying October, what dates are these again? Go so dates again?
Yeah, so Friday, October the 11th, Saturday, October 12th, Sunday, the 13th, and Monday, October 14th. And the polls will open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on those days.
So how important, and while we keep that there, while we keep that there on the studios there, those very important polling dates. Why is it, Len Carby, important as they come back to us? Why is it important that people try to take advantage of these what we call advanced polls or early voting days? Why is it important?
Yeah, so I know companies give individuals the opportunity to take some time off for voting, but in some cases it's difficult for people to leave their jobs on this specific election date, which is October the 21st,
Yes.
on that Monday. So it makes sense if you have the opportunity to go before to allow your voice to be heard to participate in the polls prior to the actual election day, because that may not be a convenient time.
Because things happen, you might not be able to leave work. Kimberlee have joined us. Kimberlee, it's always good to have you. Welcome. Kimberlee, talk to us. We are giving viewers some information today. How important, in your view, are these early votes, advanced votes to individuals? What would you say to them to take advantage of these early dates that we have to vote?
Well, to Len's point a little bit, it's just to get it out of the way. Things happen, whether or not we planned it, and so to ensure that you're championing that voice that we have, or democratic right, get it out of the way and don't wait for the last minute, because something almost always happens. So you want to just ensure that you're not at a disadvantage. You want to get your voice heard, and that's the way to do it, exercising that right. So get it done early if you can. Delay, as they say back home, is always danger, or sometimes danger, right? So we run the risk of just running out of time, like you said, or something coming up. So it's important, I think.
As well as, well, I'm seeing that as well, they make provisions that you can vote by mail. There's a mail option available. You can vote even if you're living overseas,
right.
As well. So individuals who want more information, you can go to the Elections Canada website to get some more information as to how you can vote from overseas. Or you want to talk some more about that, Len, if you're living overseas, or the voting by mail process. We will have until October 15th.
Yes.
I'm seeing if you want to vote by mail, you can send your mail in, and that will be counted. Let's talk a bit about the politics of it. Kimberlee, if you want to start us off there, how important it is for candidates to mobilize their votes and get them out in this early voting stage?
Very, very, very important, because it's not over until it's over, right? Until they actually go to the ballot box, people still have the opportunity to change your minds, and just one wrong thing or one bad day, whether it be a party thing or for the candidate, that could change. So you want to ensure that you secure that. I think it's extremely, extremely important. I mean, it's clear who the two major one will be. It's likely probably even going to be a minority government, but we don't want to take for granted the other parties that are running right behind there, because what can happen if they're stealing votes, that's not stealing, but if they lose some of the votes then to the other parties, then that could also be crucial. So you want to ensure that you lock them in as soon as possible to be secure, to be safe.
Len Carby, your view on it?
Well,
with the candidates and the parties?
Of course. One of the things that is often missing from polls which are taken locally leading up to the election is polls relevant to those who live abroad.
Yeah.
And those that get mailed in. And very often they become spoilers, right? If parties have and candidates have supporters who are abroad and need to mail their votes in, do you actually know that even if you're incarcerated, as long as you're like a citizen of Canada, you can vote from inside your correctional institution?
Amazing.
Absolutely. So no one is disenfranchised.
And that's
the
interesting.
Opportunity of getting their votes in.
And that's interesting, because like our partners to the south, if you're incarcerated, then you actually lose your right to vote. Right. But in Canada, I just want to point that out, if in case we have viewers who are in correctional facilities, in Canada, if you're a Canadian citizen, you're 18 years old or older, you can prove your identity and prove your address, you're eligible to vote. Yes. So even if you're in a correctional facility, you are eligible to vote in there. That's interesting.
Great to be a Canadian, isn't it?
It is. Students who are on campuses.
Yes.
Some people, they leave school. For example, you might live in Brampton, but you're studying in BC, or studying in Halifax. Students on campuses are also able to vote. If you are, and that's why you see political parties have different organizations and campuses. How important, Kimberlee, is it? Or do we see candidates in this election actually reaching out to students who are gone off to school to kind of do that mobilization? Do you see that, or do you get that sense that candidates are mobilizing students and university campuses to go out and vote?
Well, I can't speak for all candidates, but I know one of the candidates, particularly because I'm working on the campaign, that there has been a couple events that they've reached out to at U of T and other universities, Western, stuff like that. But I think it's a great opportunity, and anyone that's not taking advantage, they certainly should look into all the options. Can't take any of that for granted, for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. How important are the student movements, Len Carby, on campuses? Many individuals who are now members of parliament, MPPs or city councillors, mayors, they got their start on campuses. So, how important is that student involvement in the democratic process?
Well, if you see the students on the campus as your future voters, even current and future voters, it's only smart strategy to engage them as early as possible. And the truth is, if you look at, for example, how engaged young people are, last weekend there was a march. Around thousands of young people came out and were energized around this issue of the environment, right? So young people are participating and are having a voice and are interested in these conversations that relate to their own future. And so I think it's smart strategy for any political party to connect with these students and to ensure that they are delivering their message to them and also listening. Because they are much smarter than sometimes we give them credit for.
Yeah, Kimberlee, what do you make of, for example, you know, the campus involvement? I'm up on the break here, so you have a quick minute here. Sam Uzaroff, who is a young member of parliament provincial parliament in the Niagara area, was on campus when he became a member of provincial parliament. What does that kind of tell us about student involvement and how important to take those who are on campuses seriously?
Well, to Len's point, they need to take advantage of that. We've seen youth now more than ever championing that voice that they do have at the table. So very, very important to take advantage of that.
All right, stay with us. This is On Point. When we come back, we have a talk with Mr. Roger Sampson, the candidate for the People's Party of Canada, who is seeking to be the next member of parliament in Brampton West. Stay with us. This is On Point.
The hard-working residents of Brampton need an approachable leader. Someone who has the time to listen to their challenges and concerns. Someone who can raise the right issues in the Parliament on their behalf.
Hi, I'm Murari Lal Thapliyal. I'm a proud Bramptonian. Vote for me on October 21st and let me bring the right changes in this city that we proudly call home.
It's time to have a government that will make sure you and your family can get ahead, not just get by. Elect Murari Lal Thapliyal, your Conservative MP candidate for Brampton West, for a happier and stronger Brampton.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to On Point, your political and current affairs talk show program where it is raining on the outside, but we're still talking politics. We have joining us the candidate for Brampton West for the People's Party of Canada, Mr. Roger Sampson. Roger, good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Jermaine. Thanks for having me. It's been a while. I've been wanting to come to the show, and what a beautiful day to be here.
We are delighted that you have joined us. Now, Roger, you're looking to be the Member of Parliament in Brampton West. Talk to us a little bit about your background. You know, what do you do before politics, so at least the people can get a bit of understanding as to who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Roger Sampson, candidate for Brampton West with People's Party of Canada. Before my background, education background, I'm a CPA, CMA, and I'm a financial controller for Aecon Construction. So comes from a finance background, I enjoy it. And then I've also been volunteering for over a decade. So I also volunteer with the Catholic School Board. I'm the CSAC, Central Committee of Catholic Schools, committee member for Brampton West Elementary Schools. I was a president for Canadian Christian Association. Then was a president for Canadian Christian. Also helped with the William Osler Foundation, help raise funds. And also volunteer over at Ronald McDonald Charity Home for the sick kids.
Oh, good. So
I've been doing a lot in the community, and I was a deacon as well. So
that's a very important one.
Yes, yes.
Very good, very good. So you've been doing well. So the question comes in, I mean, you're a financial controller, you've been working in the finance field. Sounds to me like you would have made some good money in that field. So why the politics where you don't make a lot of money? Why the politics?
You know what? The more money we make, we want to continue making more money. However, what happens is working on the grassroots with the people, right, volunteering, I've learned that our political system and the leaders that are coming, they are not doing the job that they should be doing. So a time comes when you gotta speak up for what you believe in. And when given an opportunity, I'm taking full advantage of it to raise my issues. Because if they would have done their job right, I would have just sit back, enjoy my time with my family. I have young children.
Okay.
I have a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, and a year and a half.
Okay.
And they have been missing me for the past 4 months. So I could I could have enjoyed my summer. But however, I've decided to door knock and try to raise voice for what I believe in.
Okay, so talk to me, Roger, about some of the things that, should you become the member of parliament in Brampton West, what are some of the things that are important to you? What are some of those concrete items that you would want to get accomplished as the member of parliament in Brampton West?
Yeah, so when we look at, being a federal member of provincial, there are so many different, there are 2 different territories. However, I believe that our three levels of government are failing to work together. Okay. So let's talk about healthcare, right?
Okay.
We are the second fastest growing city in Canada. We had federal Liberal, provincial Liberal for 3 years. Then we had a mayor who was Liberal, and then Ontario received the highest funding for healthcare. However, we did not receive our fair share because Brampton is growing so fast. The number of residents that are coming, it lists approximately 20,000 residents. So healthcare I want to work on, and affordable housing. Because just recently I've started doing the sidewalk care, feeding the homeless, and it actually breaks my heart to see what conditions are, and then how to tackle all that so we can have people.
Let's get to healthcare a little bit, because healthcare is largely delivered by the provincial government. So what do you want to see done there? Because that's really a provincial responsibility. How would the impact change there?
What's happening is currently the federal government there's a transfer cash system. So we're not converted to point system. And what we want is provinces to take care of it. So from federal, we want to move it down to provincial. So when the needs are not being met, people know who to go to. Right now, MPs are saying, well, federal did not give us enough grants and vice versa. They're just going back and forth. So we want to convert that and said, okay, you know what? Let provinces take care of it. We will cancel the GST portion, which is about $40 billion of collection, and then federal gives $40 billion back to provinces to take care of their healthcare. So we want provinces to take a lead on it. And we have a good system. It's just we are putting too much strain on our system. That's the problem.
So basically what you're saying is that the federal government under your party would basically be washing their hands from the healthcare and leave it to the provinces?
It's not washing our hands, because we collect about $40 billion. So federally, GST is collected about $40 billion.
Okay.
So what we want to do is not collect it and just leave it with the provinces to deal with it.
Okay. So let's talk about some other issues as well that you want to champion. You mentioned, for example, some other platform parties. Let's talk about climate change, for example, and where you stand on that issue. Is that something you believe in? Is that something that you plan to champion, or that your party will champion? Because your party has not said much about where they stand on issues like climate change and how to deal with it.
Yeah, so our policy, our party stance on climate change is that we don't believe there's an urgency for climate change. Okay. And I believe that's a fair stance, because we have more urgent things to take care of, such as getting clean water to our reserves. So that's what our party wants to do. What we want to do is we want to withdraw from the Paris Accord and those unrealistic goals and say, let's have a proper solution for it. Okay, climate is always changing, yes. So what can we do about it? And we want to let private sector take care of it. Give you an example, Suncor. Just spending $1.4 billion to reduce emissions by 25% up in oil sands. So private sector is doing a good job, and then we don't have the urgency.
You don't want no government regulation of that, and
we want provinces to handle that.
Oh, the provinces to handle that. Okay. All right.
Leave it in the provincial jurisdiction.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Another issue that your party has come up on is the issue of immigration.
Yes.
Brampton West, where you want to run, is a very multicultural community. What do you say to people at the doors when they ask you about, family reunification and immigration and getting their loved ones here and stuff like that? What do you say to those individuals?
It's a great question, and actually speaking to the individuals, you'd be surprised that talking to the individual, they agree that yes, we need to reduce immigration levels. Because when we're talking about healthcare, family reunification program, let's talk about that, right? Anybody comes over the age of 65, they have, let's just say, diabetes, knee replacement, heart surgery, right? That is common that you see. It's about $250,000, a bill that government cuts a check right away somebody lands. So when we say it's taken a toll on the healthcare system, These are the things. So not putting a penny into that pool of money for healthcare, right? Government is cutting a check for all this amount. So it takes a toll on the system. So we just want to make sure that whoever is coming are more, and immigration, we're going to reduce it to 150. Why? Because we want to make sure we bring economic immigrants. Right now, the economic immigrants makes about 26%. So I believe it's fair to say that we do want to increase that number to about 54% or so. So this way, we got more people contributing into the economy. There was a research done by RBC where it says that new immigrants are paid 10% less, and it's about $50 billion burden on the economy. Because kids got to go to school. We got recreational programs happening, so it's about $5,300 per person.
Okay. We're running out of time here.
Yeah.
But let's talk about a few more Brampton issues. You know, where do you stand in terms of infrastructure? How will your government, should you become a member of parliament, help cities like Brampton and others to deal with things like infrastructure, transit, and all those things? You know, what are your thoughts on those?
Oh, definitely. We're also 60% of Bramptonians. We work outside of Brampton. Why? Because there's no investment coming, new jobs. So we need to make sure we bring investments into Brampton so we can build more jobs. People are leaving 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, come back, and we're called a sleeping city. Why? For a reason. Because by the time we come home, we're tired. We want to be able to have a healthy community and society. And this is why it's very important for us to work together, all three levels of government, to build a better Brampton so we can enjoy a quality life in Brampton.
Okay, awesome. We are almost out of time here, Roger. But you know, we're going to talk to the people. How can people, you know, who want to hear more about your policies, want to hear more about your platform, how can they reach you? How can they contact you? You have a website, you have information. You can talk to them in a minute.
Yes, so you can reach me directly on my cell phone. I answer my own personal phone.
Okay.
So my number is 416-786-0636. You can also look at my website. It's rogersampson.com. Or you can check out my Facebook or Twitter page. And I would love to chat with you and just talk about, you know, having a good conversation. We actually learn together, because at the end of the day, it's my first time running for politics, and I consider myself a leader, true leader, not a politician, because let's talk about the issues that we need to take care of and restore Brampton back. That's all.
We have just another quick minute here. You know, lots of parties are running. You know, do you have the confidence that your party will be able to form government, or are you looking to be hopefully like that power breaker within government, like that third party or that party with the balance of power? What are the ambitions for the People's Party of Canada?
The ambition is to, you know, we're gonna win between, remember, like Maxine said, 1 seat and between 1 and 338. Okay,
that's a big margin.
So it's a big gap. And at the end of the day, please, when you're voting this year, make sure you choose the right candidate, the candidate who can represent you and inclusive Brampton and work for Canadians first. And that is what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, the candidate, whoever has the values, speak about freedom of speech, freedom of choice, and respect everyone. That's all.
Okay, Roger, thank you so very much for coming on the program. We're delighted to have
Jermaine.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Simpson, the People's Party of Canada's candidate, who is asking for your support in Brampton West. He gave you his number, tell you how to reach him. For more information, do reach out. Stay with us. When we come back, we continue the conversation.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
And political talk show program. It is Tuesday, October the 1st. We are 20 days until election day. We just had a good conversation with Mr. Roger Simpson. Sampson. Roger Sampson. No, don't confuse him for the Simpsons, okay? He is Roger Sampson and a serious contender over there in Brampton West. Kimberlee, let's start off with you. Your impressions of our chat with Mr. Sampson.
Well, I think it's just different as opposed to some of the other candidates we've seen in terms of deferring lots of the onus on lots of things to the province. That's an interesting take, I find. I don't know if deferring it is the best way. I think all levels of government need to work together, but that's just me. So that was very, very interesting. I guess we'll get a little bit more into that, but just saying that there's no climate change, I was also kind of shocked about that it's not a real issue. We see where the other candidates...
It's not urgent.
It's not urgent.
It's an urgent issue.
Right, but I mean, there's no time like now to change that, otherwise it will get worse, in my opinion, anyhow. So that was just interesting. It's very different than what I've seen. I've seen people, some of the other candidates come, they're prepared, they have their points on that, and they think it's a different stance that they're taking. So yeah, just different.
Len Carby download healthcare responsibility. Well, I mean, the province currently delivers it, technically delivers healthcare. He wants to get the feds out of it towards the extent to give the money to the provinces. And, you know, if there's any questions, any concerns, that's your member of provincial parliament responsibility. So right now, people go between the MPs and the MPPs when it comes to healthcare. Take them one by one. Your view on that?
You know, it's interesting, the hands-off approach. You're seeking leadership, but you're saying when it comes to this issue, which is very significant to the community, which is healthcare, we'll just delegate that over there and not play a role in that process. And that kind of struck me. Another things that struck me was...
Let's stay with healthcare. No, let's stay with healthcare for a bit, because don't right now we see sometimes the provinces, the 300 levels of government can't agree on what should happen in the hospital. So does he have a point though in terms of just delegate this thing to the provinces? Does he have a point?
Well, as a citizen, it is the services that I want to be able to receive based on my contribution to the tax roll. For the citizen, they really don't care whether it is a federal, it's a provincial, or the local government. They want services. Okay. And we pay taxes to provide those services. So if the different government levels need to coordinate to ensure that services are delivered to the community and to deliver to the voters, then that's what needs to happen. That's why you're running. You want to be a leader, step up to the plate and work with the other leaders at different government levels. That's a part of the job.
Okay. Kimberlee is saying that she's surprised that they are not seeing the urgency to deal with the climate change issue. The private sector will drive that. They will eventually reduce their emissions and transition to green technology. I mean, your thoughts on that? That surprises you too?
It struck me. It struck me as interesting that the thousands of voters who were out in the streets making the point.
No, those were kids though. I don't think they are voters.
Really? They are
high school kids.
You think so? Their parents were there with them. There were actually millions of voters out there too. It's not just the high school kids who were there. Okay. And they were making a very forceful point. And in fact, even if you thought it was only high school kids, those are your voters tomorrow.
Or, remember, you just have to be 18 on election day, so some of those people could very well be turning 18 as well, right? Potential voters there.
Yes. And their voices should matter because they are citizens of this country. Whether they are, you're trying to get their vote today or not. They are citizens with a legitimate voice, and it struck me that that issue is not considered as urgent. Given the groundswell of support in this area. And in fact, all the political parties, and that's a point I think we have made on this program over and again, when it comes to climate change and the importance of that issue, I think all the mainstream political parties have acknowledged that they have to take a position.
It's real, that it's happening, that it needs to be dealt with.
Well, different views will contend,
Yes.
This is the party, though they were not the ones who put up the billboard that talks about reduced mass immigration, but they're the party, they're the only party. Well, immigration is being a bit of a a big issue in this campaign. You know, different parties are saying different things about it. You know, the Liberals have increased the levels to over 350,000, the highest we have seen in a little while. The Conservatives have been saying, listen, we need to bring back some amount of order and measure to immigration. The NDP have not exactly said what they're going to do. The leader has been saying, we need to kind of streamline and be compassionate and caring. But we're not he's not giving an amount or a level as to this immigration thing. But I heard some stats, and 49% of Canadians are saying that, we need to reduce our immigration levels. Are they onto something here?
Well, personally, I see this fear of immigration as somewhat of a dog whistle around dealing with this whole question of individuals from countries that are minority groups, and so I'm very careful when I listen to hear the points of view around immigration, about cutting back on immigration, because the truth is Canada's economy is driven by immigration. In fact, in order to grow our GDP, we need to have new immigrants coming to this country.
Well, he's saying he wants economic immigrants.
Yes. And only so bring us the brains, but leave your family behind. Is that the message? I have a problem with hearing that message. But again, every party has a right to their own position. It is not one I think that will resonate with Canadians.
Okay, yes.
Right. Well, 100%. I mean, to Len's point, definitely. Immigration is our backbone. I mean, we see here, I believe we're all immigrants. Like, we see it everywhere, in politics, all over. Maybe he himself is an immigrant, I'm not sure. So there's definitely a need for that. I think this idea of a number, though, I'm just concerned. I know the Liberals said, I agree with their platform of getting in people, but just putting out a number, there has to also be some order. Because what happens, I think sometimes, even as people are coming over illegally and they get asylum, you have people waiting abroad in detention facilities and stuff, and they don't have that kind of privilege to roam around and to wait while their process is being, while the papers are being fulfilled, rather. So that could put a little loophole in the system as well. But 100%, we do need the immigration. If we don't have immigration, we'll be in a deficit by 20, how much ever. So we definitely need that. I think we can all agree on that. It's just about how or which party it resonates with Canadians, which party is saying the right way to do immigration, I think. But we definitely need it without
big conversation. How serious of a contender are they? I mean, we sit here, we look at the main parties, and I ask him, how serious as a contender is the People's Party of Canada? His answer was interesting. They will win between 1 to 338 seats. How serious of a contender is the People's Party in this campaign?
Somewhere between 1 to 300. Okay. That's an interesting answer.
Okay.
That's an answer anyone could give, right? Will they win any seats? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the polls are saying about how popular their views are. The issues I have seen, though, on their platform are not things that I believe are resonating with Canadians very well. And I don't anticipate that there will be a significant threat during this particular election. Of course, there is place for that voice, and that's one of the beauties about being in Canada, where everyone has an opportunity to bring forward their ideas and their platform, and that enriches our democracy. But I don't believe the platform that they're exposing at this point is connecting with Canadians.
Kimberlee, how concerned should the Conservative Party be about the People's Party of Canada? Bear in mind that the leader for the People's Party of Canada and the leader for the Conservative Party were both head and head in the leadership for the Conservative campaign. So basically, the People's Party of Canada is a one spin-off from the Conservative Party. We see where the Green Party and the NDP are struggling for around the same kind of a voter. To an extent, with the Liberals and the NDP have some voters that swing between both of them. How concerned do you think Andrew Scheer is about the People's Party of Canada and his chances for success?
It's like I said earlier, it's not over until it's over. They just can't take it for granted. They need to go out there. It's only 20 days left. They need to do their due diligence, ensure that whatever it is that they're actually, their platform is accurately being portrayed, that the constituents know it, that they understand it, and hope that they want that, as opposed to going to the PPC, like the spinoff, whatever it is. that might not have resonated with people. They need to find those root causes, and there's a little bit of time to do that to ensure that they don't lose some of the votes to that. So
Len Carby, in the final minute we have here in this segment, should Andrew Scheer and the Conservatives be concerned about the PPC?
Possibly, because many of the individuals who were part of the conservative movement have moved to the extreme, right, to become part of the PPC, and that could weaken their position. One of the things that they were always good at was shoring up that consistent vote, and they have never lost their base in the last 3-4 elections. So it's left to be seen now if this new party will affect that base.
Okay, stay with us. When we come back, we continue the conversation about election for 2019. 20 days to go. October 21st is the day of reckoning. This is On Point. Stay with us.
The hard-working residents of Brampton need an approachable leader. Someone who has the time to listen to their challenges and concerns. Someone who can raise the right issues in the Parliament on their behalf.
Hi, I'm Murari Lal Thapliyal. I'm a proud Bramptonian. Vote for me on October 21st and let me bring the right changes in this city that we proudly call home.
It's time to have a government that will make sure you and your family can get ahead, not just get by. Elect Murari Lal Thapliyal, your Conservative MP candidate for Brampton West, for a happier and stronger Brampton.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to On Point, right here in the beautiful city of Brampton, broadcasting to Canadians and those around the world. It's 20 days to go until Election Day. And Len Carby, we said we had some early voting days, and we want to remind people of what those are. You know, in case you plan to get sick on the 21st or plan to go somewhere on the 21st, you can vote. What dates again?
October 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Okay, some early voting dates. And if you're overseas, remember you can mail in you can be a part of what we call the International Register of Electors. So if you're planning to go overseas, you can register, you can have your ballots mailed to you, and you can participate in this election. Just need to be a Canadian citizen, 18 years old, have proof of your address and your identity, and you can vote. Kimberlee, Len, let's talk a bit about voter participation and voter turnout. You know, in the last election, for example, if I could find my voter turnout information here now, let's see what's going on. In the last election, we had a good average voter turnout. I lost my information here. About 68%, I think, was our voter turnout. You know, does that concern us? Is that a good, healthy number, or do we need more of our people to be participating in the elections?
I know myself. Well, it's always good to have more, but 68 is not bad. We've seen the provincial and the municipal where it's much less, so it's certainly not bad. But getting more of the voice out is, I guess, been the challenge.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad number, but it would be great to see more of that for sure.
Yes.
A greater number.
And of course, you know, last election there was the Liberal Party kind of resurgence,
Yes.
and grew its turnout. I mean, significantly from somewhere in the $2 million voter participation in the previous election to close to, was it 6 million, something like that, in just one
election.
One election. So there was some energy around the last election, and of course that increased our voter turnout. I think the more people come out and participate in the process, I think the stronger for democracy.
Yes.
And individuals who would not participate and then complain about the leaders and not seek to use the process of being a Canadian and the opportunity to have your voice heard and to have a say in who sets the policies and leadership for our country. I think that's a shame if you don't take the opportunity to do that.
So just to put that in some context, in 2008 we had a 58.8% voter turnout. 2011 it was a 61.1%, and then in 2015 our last election was 68.3% in terms of the voter turnout. There are many people who have been many different things has been said, whether people want electoral reform, different kind of system of government. But before we even get there are folks who have been saying that we need to reduce the voting age to probably 16 in order to get more people to participate and vote. Your thoughts on that? Is that a good idea? Are people, 16-year-old Kimberlee, to start off with you, are they ready to participate in our electoral process, or would that, when you have more eligible people and less participation, then your voter turnout rate is even less? Are 16-year-olds ready to participate as voters?
That's a very interesting question. I know 18 is kind of the benchmark for a lot of things across the board. So I think that's a good age. I think it's much more about maybe looking at some other things, like probably giving permanent residents the opportunity to vote, like people who pay taxes and pretty much do everything else except for having that ID. So maybe that, I don't know if reducing it might even affect change. We never know. I guess you won't know until if and when that happens. But 18 I think is a good age, because we have 18 until all the way till it's a long margin. I don't know if we need to reduce it. That's just me. I'm not sure.
Len Carby, 16?
I don't think the numbers, the statistics show us that there is a higher participation rate in younger parts of the population. So increasing or decreasing the age to 16 is not an indication that you will get a greater participation rate, because the younger people tend not to participate anyway. So I think what we should be focused on is increasing the participation among the eligible voters, 18 and over.
18 and over.
Yes.
As it is right now, permanent residents of Canada can live in this country for years. They do own property, they do own businesses, they do pay taxes, but they're not allowed to vote. Is that a segment of the population that we should be looking into to allow or to grant voting privileges, or do we need to make sure that in our democracy only people who are citizens of the country participate? Your view on that, Kimberlee?
I mean, it is interesting, right? Especially for people who are actually eligible and they just probably haven't gone to do it. Probably a thing to do is just encourage more people to actually get your citizenship, because you'll talk to lots of constituents and they're eligible, but for whatever reason they haven't taken advantage of that. But I guess that's something to look at. It's interesting that you mentioned that those that are incarcerated can actually vote. So I mean, it's something to look at. Like you said, they pay tax, they do everything that a citizen does. So it's one of two things. Either probably we can look at getting them being eligible to vote, or encouraging people who are eligible, that are permanent residents, to go ahead and just get your citizenship so you can participate.
I may be going out on a limb here on this one, but I think that membership has its privileges, and I use that to say that if you want to participate in selecting the leadership of a country, to have a right in self-determination of a nation, then you should want to belong to that nation. So if you want to have permanent residence and you have the right to participate in all the social services and the benefits, yes, you pay taxes for that. You pay a tax and you receive a benefit. But if you want to determine the future of a country and its leadership and where it goes and its infrastructure, then you should be willing to participate and become a member of that country by being a citizen. And so I have no concerns at all about only citizens voting in our elections.
Interesting. We'll leave it right there. October 21st is when next we go to the polls. We have 20 days to go. As I said, we are broadcasting to you live from here in the city of Brampton. Lots happening in Brampton today. A very exciting time. We installed a new chief of police in the region of Peel today to take care of citizens in Brampton, in Mississauga, in Caledon. And that's the first person of a visible minority group to be the chief of police in Brampton. Chief Nishan, do you want to take a shot at the name, Len?
Duraipa?
Yes, Chief Nishan was installed today to be the next chief of police.
I am practicing that last
practicing the name. Kimberlee, your view of Chief Nish, and what are your expectations as we look into dealing with crime and keeping our community safe?
I mean, first of all, I guess congratulations to the chief. We all had the privilege of witnessing that today.
Yes.
It is awesome, but history be made. The first South Asian, we see more and more of those barriers being breaking. We see the deputy chiefs that are from the African Caribbean diaspora, and now we have someone from the South Asian community. So that's awesome. Good for younger people looking, folks to know that Canada really welcomes that diversity. In terms of what's expected of him, I mean, he comes with a lot of experience, as we heard today, 25 years in the force, different unit and stuff like that. So that's great, but it's just to the first order of business to get the crime down. It's been rising for a long time, and while some of the root causes are probably transferable, I guess the onus would now be on him to study Peel, as he's coming from Halton, to see how different it is. And how we can begin to champion that. But I think he's off to a good start. We've seen him, the mayor sent out his congratulations, even though he was out of the country. They've met, they've talked, and he's willing to work with the city leaders, and that's always a good thing when all the different units can work together to make the region stronger. So I think he's off to a good start, but it's just hit the ground running now from day one, and there's lots to do. So he needs to get hit the ground running.
Len Carby, your impressions of the chief and
I
expectations.
certainly want to add my congratulations to the chief on this appointment. I think it was important for me to be there today. I think history was being made, and I wanted to be in that room to witness it myself. I think we have an opportunity here. It's good to see this level of diversity in the top leadership of the Peel Police. It doesn't mean the work of diversity and inclusion has been done, but we're on a path that would allow that to happen. And so that audit that was done, I think that should be the first order of priority of this new administration at the Peel leadership, to take the results of that inclusion and diversity audit and see what are the implications for restructuring the force, changing things, so that the police can be actually a part of the community, and not just those who we see as individuals to be feared, or we are apprehensive when we are around the police. To really build community policing, and I think we are at a pivotal point where we are able to shift the dial a little bit, this new leadership. So I'm optimistic about the future.
Okay, awesome. We look forward to having Chief Nish on the program as early as possible. We had a brief chat with him today, and he seems very open to coming to talk to the people of Peel about how we'll keep them safe. We take the opportunity to congratulate you, Chief Nishan, on being the first visible minority police chief for the region of Peel. We wish you great success, and we look forward to working with you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been On Point. We hope that we have provided you with some good information, that you are now better informed as you prepare to make your choice in the 43rd general election as we choose the next leadership for our country. Stay tuned. Next Tuesday, we bring you more information when we will be even closer to the election day. Thanks for watching. Stay with us for the next show. This is On Point.